Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is Senior Forecaster Cameron back here again, and I'm here to go over the potential of not only severe weather, but also the potential of winter weather as we get towards the Tuesday, Wednesday, and even the Thursday time frame here, guys. It's going to be a very high impacting system that's going to come through with an associated cold front. And also, like I talked about in the last previous blogs, that you're going to have two separate areas of low pressures going to develop. You're going to have the potential of a 500 millibar trough that's going to come through. There's a lot of things that are going to be happening as you get towards the early and mid part of your next work week here, guys. So the blog is going to be a little bit on the long side, probably another 15-20 minute blog. I appreciate you guys. I've been checking out the views I've been getting on these blogs. I appreciate you guys for tuning into these video blogs. I've actually had a couple of people request that we do video blogs like on a daily basis here, guys. So I do appreciate you guys for tuning into these blogs every day. Like I said before, it's to go over everything that you guys need to know in terms of severe weather and also the potential of winter weather here, guys. So here we are. Here is the day 4 to day 8 outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. This is the 15% risk area. This goes from Little Rock down to Texarkana, into northeast Texas, much of northern Louisiana, and far western Mississippi here, guys. This is for day 4, and it's going to extend along the Gulf Coast, and then it's going to extend into the southeast here. I fully expect this to change, and I'm going to tell you guys why here in just a little bit. I do expect this to change over the next couple of outlooks, so just stay tuned with us here, guys. I do think the highest threat of severe weather is going to be for central and south Arkansas. I'm not really buying anything in northern Arkansas, given that the cold front is going to get to you guys very, very quickly, and you guys are not going to have enough time to get that moisture return needed to provide widespread severe weather here, guys. So, as before, even if you're not, and then this is how it's going to look. So day 3 is going to come out tonight, by the way. So we will have a marginal, general thunderstorm, marginal, slight, etc., tonight. So here's how the marginal risk can look. So if it stays like this tonight, you're going to have a marginal risk that's going to encompass most of the state, and it's going to surround the slight risk here, guys. So that's what your marginal risk is going to look like, and then you can have a focused area of a slight risk. Now, could this slight risk move further south or further north? It's a wait and see deal, but overall trends as of today is suggesting either that same area or even further to the south, which I'm going to show you with the computer model, guys, in just a little bit here, guys. So as I said before, even if you're outside the slight risk area, please keep in mind for the potential of damaging winds and also the potential of hail. And there could be some isolated tornadoes here, but the setup is nowhere near as impressive as it was back in January 10th, where we had that multi-hazard severe weather event with significant damaging winds and also strong tornadoes embedded in that line. I don't think it's going to be that significant, but we are going to keep you guys updated. And also, if you guys haven't known by now, we do have this on our website, ArkansasWeatherWatchers.com. It is very interactive, so you can zoom down to your location to see where you stand in the slight risk area, marginal, etc. So just check that out on ArkansasWeatherWatchers.com here, guys. So we're going to start you guys off with the 0Z now, and I'm going to go over to precipitation type here, guys. So as for with the severe weather perspective things, I'm going to start you off with temperatures. Temperatures are going to show a little better story than the precipitation is right now. So here's the 0Z now. As you can see, there's your cold front here. So we'll stop us right here, right around 6 p.m. on Monday. So there's your cold front here. I'm going to change my color of my pen for just a second here, guys, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. There's your cold front coming down into northern Oklahoma. It has passed most of Kansas. It's fixing to plow into northwest Arkansas. So there's your colder air, and what I'm noticing here, like I talked about before in my previous blogs, I was really worried about that colder air kind of lagging behind. What I'm noticing with the latest trends of today is that the colder air is not lagging as much as it was before. So you're seeing temperatures go from the upper 50s, low 60s to near freezing within, I say, a good 20 to 30 minutes behind the frontal passage. So temperatures are falling very, very quickly behind this front if you were to go with the 0Z NAM. So there's NAM model here. Front is knocking on Fayetteville's door right around, I say, 3 o'clock in the morning, Monday night, early Tuesday morning. Alright, and then there's your frontal boundary right around 6 a.m. It's in far northwestern Arkansas. And what I'm noticing what it's wanting to do is that first short wave, it's wanting to get it out of here pretty quickly. And if that's the case, you're going to reduce the severe weather threat significantly if you were to go with the NAM. Keep this in mind, anything past 60 hours of the NAM is still a question. That's with any model. So, there's the cold front here. I'm going to go ahead and draw this out for you guys just so you guys can see. There's your cold front pushing into northwestern Arkansas that being used by arrow. I'm going to go over to my pen real quick. And there's your front coming into northwest Arkansas. Temperatures in Fayetteville has already dropped to 48. So you've got 48 versus 61 in Lake Village. So about a 15 to 20 degree difference. Not as high impact as we were seeing earlier on this week, where we thought we were going to have like a 30 or 40 degree difference between out ahead of the front and behind the front. So there is clearly some lagging going on with the sub-freezing air as it's moving southeast, as it's running into that southeast ridge. So that's the question on Tuesday night and Wednesday in terms of winter precipitation prospect, but we're going to keep that in mind, which I'm going to get into here in just a little bit. So there's your cold front here. All right, coming in northwest Arkansas, you've got northerly to northwesterly winds filtering in behind the front, and then you've got southerly winds coming out. Give me 1 second here, I did not mean to do that. Yeah, you got southerly winds coming out of the Gulf of Mexico here, and also you're going to have aloft winds coming out of the southwest. So you're going to have everything in place for the potential of wind damage and also the potential of some isolated tornadoes come Tuesday afternoon and into Tuesday evening, particularly across central and south Arkansas. With this funnel patches are going to come through. So there's your surface low, by the way. As you get towards Tuesday afternoon, you've got 38 in Fayetteville. All right, well 37 in Fayetteville, and you've got 64 in Lake Village, here, guys. So a good 25, 30 degree difference between out ahead of the front and behind the front here, guys. And what I'm noticing here, the 32 degree line is really starting to push into northwest Arkansas per the 0Z NAM here. So there's your frontal boundary here. And what I was noticing before, like I talked about, is with the frontal boundary was kind of lagging as it came out of northwest Arkansas. I'm noticing with the NAM, it's starting to pick up speed with that frontal boundary. So I'm changing the colors here, guys. I apologize for that. Trying to give you guys a color so you guys can see the front. So there's your front coming into northeast Texas, northwest Arkansas, and into southeastern Missouri. And then there's your surface low here that's going to ride along the front. So that could increase your potential of some isolated spin-ups across eastern Arkansas, southern Arkansas, southeast Arkansas, northern Louisiana, far western Mississippi here, with this surface low that's going to be pushing out towards the northeast. So there's your first disturbance. All right, keep this in mind. Your second disturbance has not developed yet. All right, so your first disturbance is getting out here. This would be the area I would keep an eye on for the potential of some strong to severe thunderstorms capable of producing damaging winds, hail, and also the potential of isolated tornadoes per the ZOZ NAM. And it gets it out of here as we get towards midnight. So remember the last guidance we had, where I was talking about it yesterday on the blog, that guidance didn't want to get the front out of here until like right around lunch on Wednesday. Well, the frontal boundary has sped up a little faster. So midnight, the front should be clearing the state, with 32 degree line pushing into northern and northwestern Arkansas here, and with temperatures quickly falling from the 60s into the 40s, into the 30s, and eventually into the 20s up there in far northwestern Arkansas. But like I said before, it's having a hard time getting past those mountains here. And as we get towards 6 o'clock Wednesday morning here, everybody is in the 30s, low 40s across southeastern Arkansas, below freezing across northern Arkansas and northwestern Arkansas here. But as you notice, with the last couple of hours, the 32 degree line does not budge. Alright, and what ends up happening is, with this system that's going to develop, so you're going to have another surface low that's going to develop down here in southern Texas and northeastern Mexico, and it's going to catch a ride along that cold front. So there's your cold front here. By the way, if the NAM were to verify, you would cancel out the severe threat across most of Mississippi and Alabama, given the early time frame of the system here. And also, as I said before, I'm not really looking at the potential of a big time tornado outbreak. I'm thinking more of damaging winds and hail, given that the winds are going to be somewhat parallel to the front, but you could see a couple of isolated tornadoes, particularly, like I said before, in southeast Arkansas along that impulse as it's moving northeast here, guys. So there's your second one down in here. Favorable area for winter weather. The question remains, can this cold air get here quickly here, guys? And here's your Arctic air over here. Here's your Arctic, not air, excuse me, Arctic high pressure over here. Alright, so that's what's providing these northerly to northwesterly winds, and it's hitting those mountains here. So, as a result, like I said before, you're getting those winds that's hitting the mountains, and it's having a hard time getting past them. If this system can get its act together and start moving northeast, what will end up happening is a setup just like this, okay? Low pressure, your Arctic high is over here. Alright, your Arctic high is going to start moving towards the east, by the way. So, you're going to have northerly to northeasterly winds filtering in behind this low as we get towards Wednesday and Wednesday afternoon here. So that would eventually bring everybody down into the 30s as we get towards later on Wednesday, and that would support the potential of winter precipitation and also snow across the majority of the state here, guys. So that's something we're going to keep an eye on here with the ZOZ. Now, like I said, that's just one model's perspective of what could end up happening. I'm going to go over to the GFS because the GFS has been floating around like crazy. As said before, with this, the GFS has been floating around like really crazy on social media. So we're going to look at the GFS, but take the GFS with a grain of salt here, guys, because the GFS is known for blowing out those insane snow totals here, guys. So, as I said before, with the severe weather perspective things, and one more thing I want to note about the severe weather. Alright, here we are on Monday. So Monday you got a good bit of shower thunderstorm activity as warm air advection starts coming in on top of cold air, well, the leaving cold air advection, excuse me. So you've got shower and thunderstorm activity as we get towards on Monday. Wouldn't be surprised to see a marginal risk go out for the potential of hail. But that's beside the point here, guys. So there we are on Monday. But what that could end up doing is cloud cover and shower activity as we get towards Tuesday morning here, guys. And with that being said, is when you have that kind of atmosphere in place, especially before a severe weather event, it tends to lower the instability and also tends to lower the severe weather threat overall here, guys. So the ZOZ GFS has a lot of cloud cover around Tuesday morning here, guys. So instability is going to have a very hard time coming northward. Given what we dealt with January 10th, we had some sun breaks, we had a majority of cloud cover, and we still got the severe weather here, guys. So even though you have cloud cover, that does not mean you won't have severe weather at all. It just greatly reduces the threat of a bigger scale severe weather event. It doesn't completely eradicate the severe weather threat. It just keeps it from being a much bigger threat, like January 10th, for an example. Yes, we had significant damaging winds, and yes, we had strong tornadoes, but that event could have been 10 times worse had we had sunshine all day. We had a lot of cloud cover that day. Had we not had that cloud cover and we would have had a good bit of sunshine like we were earlier anticipating for that event, January 10th could have been a very bad day for us here in Arkansas. It was, and don't get me wrong, it was a bad day. We did have a good bit of severe weather, but had we had sun breaks, it would have been a lot worse than what we had dealt with. So that's the whole situation with cloud cover breaks. And like I said before, I see that flowing around. You know, we got cloud cover or we're going to get severe weather. 9 times out of 10, it reduces the threat, but it doesn't eradicate it completely here, guys. So I do expect some severe weather on Tuesday here, mainly wind damage, also potential hail, could be some isolated tornadoes, particularly, like I said, for central and southern Arkansas, where that current 15% risk area is. I do expect that to kind of stay in place, maybe drop south just a nudge, but I don't expect too big of change with that. But I do expect a marginal risk to surround that slight risk here, guys. So there's that first system that's going to get out here with the severe weather threat. Alright, and just going after GFS, by the way. And here's what the GFS wants to do. And I was looking at this earlier, and if this particular situation pans out, here we are at midnight, okay? Your system, your first impulse is gone. Your frontal boundaries past the state. And what could end up happening with this here is there could be a break in the action. If that were to be the case, I don't see any cloud breaks. I don't see any clear skies before this next system. But what I'm saying is, with the break in the action, it could allow that cold air to come down very quickly here, especially with this system starting to get its act together. And what the ZOZ GFS wants to do, it brings snow to the majority of the state. And I know what you're thinking. Far southeastern Arkansas is getting rain. loft temperatures are well below freezing on Wednesday. So I want to keep this in mind. Your loft temperatures are going to crash before your surface temperatures. So you will have the potential of a rain snow mix on Wednesday if this particular setup were to go. It's going to be that same setup that I talked about before, where you have high pressure here. So your high pressure has moved off towards the east. It's starting to get its act together. It's moving out towards the east. So there's your high pressure. All right. And then there's your surface low back out here. And what it's doing is bringing those northerly, excuse me, I did not mean to draw that arrow just like that. Give me 1 second here, guys. There's your high pressure here. There's your low pressure. And what's wanting to do is bring those northerly to northeasterly winds into Arkansas. And if that's the case, you're going to look at the potential of winter weather here in Arkansas from Little Rock down El Dorado up to Melbourne, point southwest, as that system moves off towards the northeast here, guys. So it's going to kind of pivot along that I-30 corridor. So that would be the best area. If you were to go with the GFS, this would be the best area to see a good bit of good accumulations here. Texarkana over to El Dorado, the Little Rock, the I-30 corridor. This would be the area that I would target to see some good amount of snow accumulations if you were to go with the ZOZ GFS. Keep in mind, it's heavy cold bias. I don't trust it for more than what I can throw it, but we're going to keep a very close eye on it, because what I'm noting here with the ZOZ GFS, what it's been doing, it is a brick wall with the snow potential. It has not budged. I've done about, I think, 2 blogs before today, and it has not budged ever since. It's been continuously saying the same area over and over again. That's what I always say I look for in computer model guidance, and I believe the NAM model is trying to favor that area too. So we're going to compare the NAM and the GFS real quickly here, guys. So just bear with me for just a second. And 84 hours out, here's the NAM, by the way. It has snow flurries across far northwestern Arkansas. And here's the ZOZ GFS almost at that same time. So I'm going to go to 84 hours out here. So there's GFS and there's the NAM. Same time frame. Almost identical what's to do. Alright, so we're going to have to keep this in mind. I believe the ZOZ NAM and the GFS is trying to align with each other. Alright, but that's the situation we're dealing with right now. So it's basically like a brick wall on what it wants to do with the potential of winter weather for us here in the United States. So we're going to keep that, keep a very, very close eye on that potential as we get towards later part of this weekend into the early part of this upcoming week here, guys. So here's the Canadian model. I'm going to jump into the ZOZ, so the ZOZ should be out by there. So here's ZOZ Canadian. All right, what it wants to do, like I said before, here we are, 6 a.m. Tuesday morning. Good bit of widespread activity across the natural state. If that happens, your severe threat is going to be very, very low across the natural state. But we're going to keep a very close eye on for central and southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, and western Mississippi here. But what it wants to do is with that second one. And here's the ZOZ Canadian, by the way. Here's what that second impulse, what it wants to do, it keeps it off towards the west. Okay? What the ZOZ Canadian model wants to do, it says far northwest Arkansas at best, and that's it. But it wants to develop yet another system as we get towards late Wednesday night and early Thursday morning, and it could potentially mean more snow across western Arkansas here, guys. So Canadian model, what it wants to do is a little different from the GFS and the NAM. It's slowed down with the cold air. I'm going to show you real fast here with the temperatures. So here's the temperatures at the same time frame here, and what it wants to do is, here we are on Wednesday, upper 30s, low 40s, far northwest Arkansas is at freezing. It stalls that cold air. Here's your front that passes through. All right, it's slower with the front, so the front, by the time we get towards Wednesday morning, is just now leaving the natural state. All right, so here's temperatures on Tuesday, by the way, 40s, 60s, upper 60s, but little to no instability in place with the potential of severe weather, given that you have morning convection. So we're going to keep an eye on the severe weather threat, but as with the current trends, it seems to be going more of a downward trend versus a upward trend. But that's still not being said, we have to continuously watch out for the short-range guidance, you know, the NAM, the high-risk NAM, the RGM, and also the HRR. We're going to keep a very close eye on that. But like I said before, with the winter weather perspective of things, what the Canadian model wants to do, and this is what I'm fearing, this is why I'm saying, slow your roll. I know what you're seeing. I know what you're seeing with the GFS. I know what you're seeing with the NAM. but I want you guys to slow your roll, because this is my number one concern, is with that colder air, especially how shallow it is, it's going to have a hard time getting past northwest Arkansas here, guys. So we're going to keep this in mind, but there's also another uncertainty here. I'm going to go to total snowfall accumulations here. There will be a snowpack in place across Oklahoma, Kansas, and into Missouri. As that colder air is filtering down, it's not going to modify much. So that could mean that colder could get here a little quicker. That's, I think, what the NAM and the GFS is trying to account for, is that the cold air is going to pass over that snowpack, and it's going to lead to the potential of that cold air getting here pretty quickly here, guys. And that's the case, well, winter weather, if the cold air lies northwest Arkansas, then you're not going to see winter weather. It's just going to remain a cold rain for your Wednesday here, guys. So, as before, I do appreciate you guys for tuning into this video blog here tonight. We're watching for both, one, the potential severe weather and also potential winter weather. Severe weather potential is going to be for central, southeast Arkansas, eastern Arkansas, west Mississippi, north Louisiana. Winter weather potential is going to be for our folks of western Arkansas, northwest Arkansas, and along that I-30 corridor. That's going to be the area that I'm going to keep a very close eye on for the potential of winter weather as we get towards the day on Wednesday here, guys. So thank you guys for tuning into this video blog. Stay with us, Arkansas Weather Watchers, for the latest on this stat as we get towards Tuesday through Thursday. So y'all take care. Have a great rest of your Saturday evening.